on a battleship in his sailor suit.
He is a one-man operation, more or less, working in a cluttered Buckhead studio suite amid dusty stacks of mid-century record albums and antique tape machines.
You pop the V-Disc program.
And I've lost a spot here.
This is the home office of an Atlanta-based syndicated radio show, hosted, researched, engineered, and mastered by a man named Don Kennedy.
Big band, jump. It's music of and associated with the big band era. I'm Don Kennedy.
At age 67, Kennedy is the voice behind what's become a resurgence in big band music across America in a program called Big Band Jump that he started on a college radio station in Atlanta 11 years ago.
It got to be pretty popular, and somebody wrote and said, why don't you syndicate? And I thought, ding, what a great idea. So I did.
It's the latest chapter in what has been a high-visibility career in Atlanta broadcasting, one that has strayed about as far away as possible from the mature theme of his current pursuit.
Now let's check to see who's here today. Will the back row stand up?
3 decades ago, Don Kennedy was best known as Officer Don, the host of a wildly popular children's show that aired on Atlanta television called The Popeye Club.
And then you're going to wave your magic wand, and the fish will be in the glass?
No, yes, you're right. The fish are going to be in the glass.
I don't believe it.
Kennedy hosted the show live for 14 years with a cast of puppets, a gallery of eager spectators, and a reel of cartoons. It remains, he says, the show that defined his career for many people.
People regularly come up to me and say, why don't you start that show again? There's nothing for kids to watch. Well, kids wouldn't watch it now.
Across the finish line.
I was just a guy standing in front of a live camera. Yeah.
Now it's the sensational new Fire Chief Speaker's hat. Easy to get from any Texaco dealer for $3.98.
So Kennedy has moved on. He's bought and sold Atlanta TV and radio stations. He's hosted a morning radio show. And he's settled in as the voice and the energy behind Big Band Jump, which he writes and researches and engineers alone in his Buckhead studio.
Today, we're going to talk about and listen to the secondary bands. And we'd like you to stay with us.
His weekly program goes out to more than 160 radio stations around America and plays to a surprisingly broad audience. The show remains an unlikely mainstay on the sometimes noisy college station where he started Big Band Jump 11 years ago.
88.5 WRAS Atlanta.
Which plays Don Kennedy's big band music to a young but appreciative audience.
It's like it takes you out of the music. It takes you into this soap opera life of these people back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And it's like he was there.
One of the men who got into the band business later was trumpeter Randy Brooks. He was a man who was built like a football player, a handsome kind of guy.
So a quarter century after he ended his career as the host of a kids show on TV, Don Kennedy is still reaching out to another generation. This time on radio, riding a resurgence of music from his own childhood.
Big Band Jump is brought to you regularly right here on this station, and we thank you. We thank you for being with us.